These guys, they go to, you got to go do a gig in town, right, in Cleveland or wherever, and then you have to go do local news that morning because you're stand-ups.
They don't really ask us to do it anymore, but years ago it was required. So now I would kind of look forward to it, honestly.
Right.
But back in the day when they forced you to do it, you're like, ugh.
Oh,
so you make a scene.
And what did you say on yours?
The one that got me thrown off Pittsburgh Today Live, and the person who runs the Improv saw me in L.A. recently and said, "You're the reason we don't have comics on morning TV anymore."
Hey, thank you.
Because
that's a service.
I was there on like 2 hours sleep, and you're in a cranky mood, and they just keep asking you the same predictable questions that you've answered a million, like nothing, like to the point that you're like, you read one line on Wikipedia. You had nothing interesting to ask, and they said something like, "Have you always been funny?"
Why are you so funny?
Why?
Yeah, like where did you get your funny from? Did you get it from your parents?
And I just, that's when I was just like, yeah, this. So I said, no, when I was young, my uncle molested me, and he was funny. So I got his powers like a Spider-Man origin story. And there's just like an awkward silence, and you hear one camera guy in the back laughing, and the woman goes, okay then. And that. It weirdly sold a lot of tickets, so I'm like, you want to sell some tickets?
It helps.
Cause us, because it's not our audience.
No.
They want us to do that. Like maybe some morning radio rock channel, like we'll get some of our people out, but that's not for us.
No. And it's weird because they want you to be funny, and then when you are funny, they freak out. They want you to be their funny.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not my funny.
I watched one of yours, too. Yours was pretty good. Like, it was like laughter, but then you'd be really funny and no one would laugh.
Yeah.
And then how do you work through that? You just...
It's like he
power
said,
through?
you just hate it so much that you don't care. You know, it's like being on a date with a really unattractive lady where you're like, I don't care how this goes. I'll and you're cool. You're smoothest and funniest then. But when you're with a girl you're obsessed with, you choke up. You know.
What's an arena like? What's that like to do an arena?
I don't love it. I don't find. I mean, it's a great experience. I'm grateful I did it. Yada yada. But it's not great for comedy because comedy should be like a conversation. You say line, they laugh. You say line, they laugh. It's like this back and forth kind of almost like a heartbeat thing. But with the arena, it's like you throw out a line and they go, then you wait and you throw out another line and there's no connection.
There's no connection. It's like a vapid model where you're like, this is cool, but I don't deserve this. And we're not connecting. And I'm just thinking how I don't deserve it.
That I would
like
still
if she touches
that. I would take that still. But
yeah, me too. I didn't mean to get rid of that as a whole.
whole.
But you're doing well. They're laughing.
Yeah.
But it's not the same.
Yeah. No. Well, when Mark and I were doing that, we were opening for someone bigger, so it was their crowd. So Mark, Amy, we've both done it with who else?
Louis, all these people.
So when you're opening for those people, you're playing to a huge crowd, but it's not your crowd. And I would much rather perform in a much smaller venue for people that are there for me. I mean, the goal is for us to be the show.
Good point.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, but these morning shows, that's the beauty of the internet because we've both done upwards of 10 late nights, Tonight Show, Conan, Colbert, all this stuff. And I got more buzz off that Cleveland show than I did any late night I've done.
Really?
Well, that's the only way someone watches one of those local shows. Is that if you make a scene.
Yeah.
Like if you're just being like, yes, it is good to be in Cleveland. No one gives a shit.
Right.
But if you say something about getting molested, people are like, wait, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. I got a queef in, which I had to fight for because apparently that's on the line.
I saw that one.
All right.
You talked about queefing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, I don't know if we could say that on 10 a.m. morning TV.
But they kept it in?
Yeah, they did.
And some nerd put it on YouTube and it just popped. So
when they say, like, I don't know if you could say this word, we're all adults. What are we doing here? Like,
strange.
It's like I remember on Fallon, I fought to get the word on.
Jeez.
Not that I do, and I just used the word was important for the bit. I had to say the word.
Yeah.
And they were like, "You're the first non-famous person to get the word on." I was
that's
like,
terrible to say to you.
Thanks.
Meanwhile, the green room's full of Coke residue from Van Halen the night before, whoever the hell, and we can't say it. It's a strange business.
Right.
Yeah.
None of it makes sense.
And when you guys would do Colbert or Conan, or did you have any terrible experiences there? Or did anything go wrong, or was it all smooth?
I've had brain farts up there, I've had I had a few bombs. I've definitely had some flubs. You know, or because
Right.
it's a tightrope. You get 5 minutes, you get one shot. That's kind of the magic of it.
Right.
And if you flub, if you say instead of TV, you say TV, you're f***ed. You know, and then you got to like get it together in the moment in real time. It's a trip.
What do you guys think about? Because I guess I discovered you both over COVID.
Wow, how about that?
I mean, I saw you taped your special at the Hayworth, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Which is a club right near my house.
Really?
Yeah, I go by there all the time. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is interesting. It's like a really good comic that's just doing it himself at the Hayworth, which isn't.
Story behind that is I actually sold it out, which was rare for me at that time. And so I said, well, we sold out 2 shows. Let's film this one because we're not going to get a sellout everywhere. And it's a
So
cute
wait a
little
minute,
theater.
you couldn't even sell out the Hayworth back then? 2 years ago?
Mark is being modest.
This is two plus years ago.
Right.
So
What is it, 300 people?
less.
Yeah, less.
200 a show, probably.
Yeah, probably till we
Mark
did
is
2.
being modest right now. That's untrue.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Let him be. Let him be.
a
modest.
sellout was a big deal back. Like now, I feel like we sell out more regularly.
Right.
But back then, it was like, oh, we sold out, and it was a little theater. That's what I mean. That's what
Right.
kind of it looked nice. It had a curtain and seats and lights and the whole thing. So that's why we shot it there. And it went a little rocky. If you listen to the special, I'm not murdering.
I watched.
Yeah, you
I was going to say that. I didn't want to insult you.
Really?
No. I mean, it went well. I mean, we got a good
special
special.
itself it's really charming
Yeah.
because he comes out and you're like
I found it to be quaint myself.
no you're like oh, what the hell is this? It's not a big production, and then he starts and you're like okay, and the crowd is not. It takes the crowd 5 minutes, 10 minutes, so then they're like fucking dying.
Well, I would describe the theater as precious. You know,
Yes.
it's got like a little hipstery,
That's why.
little
That's exactly
cute
why.
vibe.
Yes.
And my material is I open up with school shitting, then it's pedophilia, then it's fat people. So like they were, I think in L.A. too. They're like, whoa, what's this guy doing?
Yeah.
But they came around.
Only in LA are they more offended by the school shooting than fat people.
Exactly.
And then I watched yours last night
Okay.
at the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah,
The one
I
of
did.
the-
I got this was at the Comedy Cellar. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Unreal.
There are these gangs that'll post pictures of really hot women, and then you show up on the date and they just rob and beat the shit out of you. That's got to be a bummer. Because it already sucks when it doesn't look like the picture. That's got to suck extra. You show up for your date at 2 a.m. at the bridge, and 8 dudes are walking toward you, and you're like, Kathleen?
What is your worst? I hate to ask you this, but I love these stories so much. What's like your worst gig or your worst time on the road, or was there anything horrible that happened to you, or worst set?
So many. Let me go through the Rolodex here.
Yeah, there are a lot. I mean, I've always said, like, if you don't break down a few times, you're not doing enough sets. You know,
Yeah.
if you don't have a complete mental breakdown.
Yeah.